Do something nice today and don't get caught. My therapist said that to me once, and I think because he knows how apt I am to take a challenge, it was the best thing he could have said to me, and I think about it every day. Mental health days for me are every day. I don't like the idea that a mental health day has to stick out among all the other days of the year. I think every day I should be prioritizing how I'm feeling mentally. On a good day, I can brush off rejection and not even view it as rejection, but just view it as something that is. On a bad day, I can get very in my head about maybe no one likes me, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And on those days, I really need to reach deep into my toolbox and say, okay, do I need to vent to a friend or exercise a little bit to get my endorphins up? It really depends. Rejection's hard, even on a good day. Crying is not great for me, and I do it a lot. Good crying is a great release. Sad crying, I actually have to put a time limit on myself. I feel a lot. I've found if I read about a sad event, I can sit down and cry about it for a while. And my husband will remind me, are you doing any good for anyone, including yourself, while you're crying about this? Or should you get off your butt and either try to solve it or, do an act of service, something that gets you out of that headspace? I love just sitting in a pile with my family on the couch, usually watching some animal show. Unexpected Animal Friendships are some of my favorite ones, or maybe a new documentary, but really snuggling up on the couch gives me the greatest sense of calm. My happy place recently has been doing puzzles. I've always liked puzzles, but doing them now, I've identified that I like a challenge, I like being mentally stimulated, but I don't necessarily like someone else judging my work, and there's no stakes when you're doing a puzzle. I clean my house and I pick up after my kids. That'll make you feel real grounded. When you have to tidy up someone else's mess, you recognize how much work goes into something. When I can't sleep, I will take one of the Hello Bello sleep gummies, which has a little bit of melatonin in it, and it knocks me right out. Usually my first reaction is to start to sweat because I don't always know how to handle everything because I'm caught in this rock and a hard place where I want to meet their needs, but I also want to meet my own. I've found that taking little breaks, as silly as that may sound, have helped me a ton. Living in the same household with a few people for a year when no one can leave, if I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed by one family member or every family member, I will just say, I'm gonna go in my bedroom for 20 minutes. Actual physical distance is really, really helpful. And you can do it. I never allowed myself that luxury to say, I'm going into the other room now, just for 15. And it's really worked. My dog, 100% my dog. There's no judgment, there's just love. With lipstick. And I don't know if I'm feeling confident and then I put on lipstick, or if it's the other way around. I put on lipstick and then I feel confident. But my confidence usually revolves around a brightly colored lipstick. To de-stress, mainly murder mysteries, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but first of all, it always makes you feel better about your life because you're not murdered. The whodunits are really gripping to me. So I will usually pop on a Dateline if I want to de-stress. Spend some time with Keith Morrison. Untamed was one of the best books I ever read by Glennon Doyle, and I think it provided language to a lot of things that I was feeling, and I would recommend it for any woman who has ever felt sad or caged in their life. Usually I'll have a list of my to-dos so that I can get them out of my head and stop swirling, and then maybe a list of things that I'm just doing for me that day. Like today, I'm gonna try to take a hike, a short hike, nothing crazy or extreme. This idea of self-care being an extreme event has always bothered me because I think it needs to be incorporated into the day. When I'm using the Happy Dance products that we just created this year, it was kind of perfect timing because we've been working on it for 2 years. CBD has improved my life so much, and I felt the need to kind of demysticize all these things about CBD and what it was. Like, I will literally write down the simplest things, like today I'm going to shave my legs and use my CBD coconut oil, and then I'll know that I'll be getting some CBD in my system, which also really helps keep me centered. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt said that, and I would get it tattooed on my low back if I could. I might. You never know.